Sit down, right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go nowhere.
Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to Hank Criminal. He faked his death to reveal his wife's infidelity and regretted it. True crime. Let's get right into it.
In late 2022, Ethan Brooks, a 42-year-old insurance agent working for a major insurance company in Baltimore, Maryland, began noticing disturbing changes in his wife's behavior. Melanie Brooks, 38, employed as a real estate agent at a local property firm, had been married to Ethan for 12 years after meeting at a mutual friend's wedding in 2010. The first signs of trouble emerged in October 2022, when Melanie's work schedule began showing irregular patterns. Bank statements from their joint account at a local credit union revealed unexplained charges at various establishments in Georgetown, Washington, D.C., approximately 45 miles from their residence in the Towson suburb of Baltimore. These expenses, ranging from $150 to $500, appeared consistently on Wednesday evenings and weekend afternoons. Phone records obtained during the subsequent investigation showed numerous calls to an unknown number registered to a burner phone, typically lasting between 15 and 45 minutes. These calls occurred primarily during Melanie's claimed overtime hours at her real estate office. The frequency of these calls increased from twice weekly in October 2022 to almost daily by December of the same year. Robert Cain, a 45-year-old attorney specializing in family law and managing partner at his private practice in downtown Baltimore, had been the Brooks family friend and legal advisor since 2015. Beginning in November 2022, Ethan sought Cain's counsel regarding his marital concerns during regular meetings at the law firm's office. Investigation records show that these consultations occurred weekly, with each session lasting approximately 1 hour. During these sessions, Cain consistently steered conversations toward divorce proceedings, emphasizing the statistical failure rates of marriages experiencing similar problems. According to recordings later discovered on Ethan's phone, Cain repeatedly suggested that the marriage had run its natural course, and that prolonging the inevitable would only result in greater emotional and financial damage. Security footage from the law firm's lobby, reviewed during the subsequent investigation, showed that on multiple occasions, Melanie Brooks entered the building through a side entrance approximately 30 minutes after Ethan's departure. These visits were never mentioned to Ethan, despite Cain's role as the family's legal counsel.
Why do I feel like he's the type of guy? Yeah, bro, you should break up with your wife. Go ahead, get a divorce. It just makes sense. And he hitting his wife the whole time. We gonna see, but my antenna's up.
Counsel. By December 2022, financial records indicated that Melanie had opened a separate checking account at a national bank, depositing approximately $2,000 monthly from her commission earnings without Ethan's knowledge. Cell tower data placed her phone at various locations inconsistent with her reported work schedule, including frequent visits to the Harbor East District, where Cain maintained a private apartment. The Brooks neighbors in Towson, John and Sarah Martinez, reported to investigators that they noticed Melanie's black 2021 BMW X5 leaving the residence at unusual hours, particularly between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., at least 3 times per week. The vehicle was often seen parked in a public garage in Harbor East, less than 2 blocks from Cain's residential building. As 2022 drew to a close, Ethan Brooks began documenting these irregularities in a detailed spreadsheet, later recovered from his laptop. The document contained timestamps, locations, and brief notes about Melanie's unexplained absences, unusual expenses, and inconsistent explanations for her whereabouts. This documentation would later become crucial evidence in the criminal investigation that followed. The investigation also revealed that during this period, Cain had begun quietly advising Melanie on matters related to marital assets and property division, despite his ongoing counsel to Ethan. This dual representation, explicitly prohibited by legal ethics guidelines. On March 15, 2023, Ethan Brooks initiated an elaborate plan to fake his own death, utilizing his extensive knowledge of insurance protocols and claim procedures gained through his 15-year career in the insurance industry. The preparation phase began 2 months earlier, when Brooks started withdrawing small amounts of cash from various ATMs across Baltimore County, accumulating approximately $45,000 without triggering any suspicious activity reports. Michael Torres, the owner of a small auto repair shop and a long-term insurance client of Brooks, became a key accomplice in the scheme. Investigation records later revealed that Brooks had deliberately undervalued Torres's business insurance premiums for 3 years in exchange for his cooperation. Torres provided critical assistance in preparing Brooks's 2020 Mercedes-Benz E-Class for the staged accident. The vehicle preparation included strategic structural damage to simulate a high-impact collision, careful placement of Brooks's DNA evidence throughout the cabin, and the installation of a remote-controlled acceleration system. Torres later testified that Brooks spent several nights in the repair shop, meticulously planning every detail of the vehicle's condition to ensure it would pass police inspection. The chosen location for the staged accident was a particularly dangerous stretch of road in Montgomery County, known locally as Dead Man's Curve. This section had witnessed 17 fatal accidents in the previous 5 years, making it a statistically plausible location for a single vehicle fatality. Brooks selected this spot after analyzing local...
Sir, why would you not just... I'm confused. Like, okay, cool. You're doing all this criminal minds, beautiful minds. Like, bro, you don't get this stupid, it's like he's too smart for his own good or too dumb to be good. I'm confused because why? Okay, she's cheating on you. Hire a private investigator. After you hire the private investigator and get the proof, you go to a real lawyer that's not Robert Cain, clearly, because he finessing. He just trying to get bonds. You go to a lawyer and get a divorce, and you show the proof in court. Why are we doing all of this? Because if you get arrested, because this is called hate criminal, so I'm assuming somebody gets arrested. If you get arrested for faking your untimeliness, like, bro, you're stupid.
Accident reports and weather patterns. On the night of the incident, Brooks executed his plan during a heavy rainstorm. The weather conditions were later confirmed by National Weather Service data, showing rainfall of 2.3 inches between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. These conditions significantly reduced visibility and created hazardous driving conditions, adding credibility to the accident scenario. The vehicle was discovered at 2:15 a.m. by a passing truck driver, who immediately contacted emergency services. First responders arrived at 2:37 a.m. and found the Mercedes had apparently careened off the road and down a 120-foot embankment, ending in a violent impact with several trees. The vehicle's condition matched the expected damage pattern for a high-speed accident at this location. Montgomery County Police Department's initial investigation classified the incident as a probable fatality, despite the absence of a body. This classification was supported by the vehicle's severe damage, traces of blood found on the deployed airbag, later confirmed as Brooks's through DNA testing, and the treacherous conditions at the crash site. The investigative team theorized that the body could have been ejected from the vehicle and swept away by the storm-swollen creek at the bottom of the ravine. Insurance investigators noted several red flags in the aftermath of the crash, including the absence of skid marks on the road surface and inconsistencies in the vehicle's electronic control module data. However, these concerns were initially overlooked due to the severe weather conditions and the location's history of fatal accidents. Brooks had carefully structured his life insurance policies with a total payout value of $4.3 million.
Damn.
The primary beneficiary was his wife, Melanie Brooks. The policies had been updated 6 months prior to the incident, adding accidental death riders that would double the payout in case of a fatal accident. The insurance company's initial review raised no immediate suspicions, as all policy changes fell within normal parameters for high-net-worth clients. In the days following his disappearance, Brooks assumed a new identity as John Smith, using carefully prepared documentation obtained through various illegal channels. He relocated to a modest motel in a neighboring county, beginning the surveillance phase of his plan. The motel's security cameras would later provide crucial evidence of his movements during this period. Though at the time, his nondescript appearance and cash payments raised no suspicions among the staff. Following his staged death, Ethan Brooks, now living under the alias John Smith, took residence at the Pine View Motel, a modest establishment located in Frederick County, Maryland. Operating from this base, Brooks engaged the services of Alex Morrison, a former law enforcement officer turned private investigator with 20 years of experience in domestic surveillance and financial fraud investigations. Morrison's investigation, conducted between March 18th and April 10th, 2023, uncovered a complex web of deception that far exceeded Brooks's initial suspicions. The detective's most significant discovery was documentation of a joint savings account opened by Melanie Brooks and Robert Cain at a regional bank in July 2022, 8 months before Ethan's staged accident. Bank records showed regular deposits ranging from $2,000 to $5,000, totaling approximately $87,000 by March 2023. The surveillance operation revealed a pattern of regular meetings between Melanie and Cain at various upscale hotels across the Baltimore-Washington metropolitan area. Hotel records, obtained through Morrison's investigation, documented at least 47 separate reservations under Cain's name over the preceding 12 months. These stays, typically occurring on Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoons, were consistently billed to a private credit card registered to Cain's law practice. Through legal channels, Morrison obtained recordings of phone conversations between Melanie and Cain from a period spanning January to March 2023. These recordings, later authenticated by forensic analysts, contained explicit discussions about their future plans following the expected insurance payout. In one particularly incriminating conversation dated March 17, 2023, just 2 days after Brooks's supposed death, Cain was recorded saying, "Once the insurance claim clears, we'll have everything we need to start our new life."
Crazy.
Financial investigation revealed that Cain had begun liquidating various assets and transferring funds to offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. Records showed the creation of a shell company in late 2022, which investigators later determined was intended to serve as a vehicle for laundering the expected insurance proceeds. The depth of the relationship between Melanie and Cain became even more apparent in the immediate aftermath of Brooks's staged death. Surveillance photographs documented their meetings becoming more frequent and public, with the pair often seen dining at expensive restaurants and viewing real estate properties in affluent neighborhoods. Cell phone tower data confirmed they spent multiple nights together at Cain's private apartment in the days following Brooks's disappearance. Morrison's investigation also uncovered evidence of premeditation in their financial planning. Email correspondence between Melanie and Cain, dating back to June 2022, contained detailed discussions about insurance policies and estate planning. In several exchanges, they specifically discussed the benefits of accidental death provisions and the typical timeline for insurance claim processing. The detective compiled an extensive dossier of evidence, including 147 surveillance photographs, 23 recorded phone conversations, 89 email exchanges, complete financial records from 6 different banking institutions, hotel receipts and security camera footage, real estate viewing appointments and related documentation, cell phone location data, spanning 14 months. Perhaps most damning were the recorded conversations between Melanie and Cain during the insurance claim process. These recordings captured them discussing methods to expedite the death certificate issuance and strategizing about how to handle questions from the insurance company's investigators. Their casual tone and detailed planning suggested they had been preparing for this scenario for months. Adding to the evidence was a series of documents found in Cain's office safe, accessed through legal channels, which included draft plans for relocating to a non-extradition country and documentation for multiple offshore accounts. These materials demonstrated a level of premeditation that would later become crucial in the criminal proceedings against both parties. As Morrison compiled his findings, the scope of the conspiracy became increasingly clear. The relationship between Melanie and Cain wasn't merely an affair. It was a calculated partnership aimed at exploiting Ethan Brooks's apparent death for financial gain. On April 12, 2023, at approximately 7:15 p.m., Ethan Brooks made his dramatic return from the dead, arriving at his Towson residence where Melanie was preparing for what she believed would be another evening with Robert Cain. The confrontation that followed would dramatically alter the course of events and set in motion a chain of circumstances that would ultimately lead to tragedy. Brooks had meticulously prepared for this moment, carrying a comprehensive dossier of evidence compiled by private investigator Alex Morrison. The evidence included detailed financial records, surveillance photographs, and most critically, recorded conversations between Melanie and Cain discussing their plans for the insurance money. Brooks had also taken the precaution of having 2 witnesses, his brother James Brooks and a notary public, Patricia Chen, wait in a car outside the house to document the encounter. The initial confrontation occurred in the kitchen, where security cameras installed by Brooks prior to his disappearance captured the entire exchange. The footage, which later became crucial evidence, showed Melanie's transformation from initial shock to defensive anger, and finally, to resigned admission. When presented with bank statements showing joint accounts with Cain, Melanie initially attempted to explain them away as professional transactions related to real estate dealings.
Okay.
However, when Brooks played the recorded phone conversations, particularly one from March 17th where she and Cain discussed their future plans, Melanie's demeanor changed dramatically. The security footage showed her attempted to grab Brooks's phone, leading to a physical altercation that knocked over several kitchen items and produced the noise that alerted neighbors. John and Sarah Martinez, the next-door neighbors, reported hearing raised voices and the sound of breaking glass at approximately 7:45 p.m. Sarah Martinez later testified that she heard Melanie screaming, "You were supposed to be dead," followed by more crashes and the sound of furniture being overturned. The Martinez family called emergency services at 7:52 p.m., reporting a domestic disturbance. During the confrontation, Brooks revealed his knowledge of the 47 hotel meetings, the offshore accounts, and the planned escape to a non-extradition country. According to the security footage, Melanie's initial denials gave way to anger when Brooks produced evidence of Cain's involvement in planning the insurance fraud. She accused Brooks of stalking and harassment, threatening to call the police herself. The situation escalated when Melanie attempted to leave the house at 8:03 p.m., leading to another physical confrontation in the front yard. This incident was witnessed by multiple neighbors and captured on several home security cameras in the area. The footage shows Melanie attempting to reach her car while Brooks blocked her path, waving documentation and continuing to demand explanations. Police officers arrived at 8:10 p.m., responding to the Martinez family's call. Officers Daniel Rodriguez and Sarah Thompson found both Brooks and Melanie in a state of high agitation. The body camera footage from both officers documented Brooks's explanation of his staged death and presentation of evidence regarding the affair and insurance fraud conspiracy. Initially skeptical of Brooks's story, the officer's attitude changed when he produced his identification and documentation of his investigation. Melanie, confronted with the overwhelming evidence, finally broke down and admitted to her relationship with Cain. She confirmed that they had been planning their future together, but denied any knowledge of insurance fraud or plans to leave the country. The confrontation concluded with Melanie being taken to the police station for questioning, while detectives secured the residence as a potential crime scene. Digital forensics teams were called in to collect the...
I'm just confused. How are they committing insurance fraud if he faked his death? Like, he set that in motion. Granted, she was going to leave. She was doing infidelity. Cool. Not cool, but, like, let's put that to the side. You say, all right, I got an elaborate scheme. I know she's cheating on me. Let me do the most. Like, this is something that I would never even think a movie would be made about, because who the hell would think to do some stupid shit? Like, why are you doing this? The only good thing he did was hire the private investigator. Ethan's dumb.
Security camera footage and other electronic evidence. Brooks provided the police with copies of Morrison's complete investigation file, which would later serve as the foundation for criminal charges against both Melanie and Cain. In the immediate aftermath of the confrontation, the local police department contacted federal authorities due to the interstate nature of the planned insurance fraud and the involvement of offshore accounts. The FBI opened a formal investigation the following morning, focusing on both the financial aspects of the case and potential conspiracy charges. Between April 15th and April 19th, 2023, Melanie Brooks initiated a series of actions that would transform an insurance fraud case into a capital murder investigation. Using a sophisticated array of privacy tools, she created an anonymous account on a dark web forum known for facilitating illegal services.
Okay.
The FBI's cyber unit later traced her digital footprints through a combination of metadata analysis and browser history recovered from her laptop. The investigation revealed that Melanie had spent several hours researching assassination services, ultimately making...
I was wrong. And I will gladly admit I was wrong. Hey, she tried to get her took out the game. He's playing 3D chess. My bad. No, my bad. 4D chess. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't thinking that 5 brains. Like, bro, why would you not just get a divorce? Cause, you had a feeling she was trying to rest in peace. Yeah. Okay. I get you. Okay, Ethan. You still might get charged with something. I don't understand.
Making contact with a user operating under the alias Ghost. Digital forensics showed that their initial communication occurred on April 16th at 2:47 a.m., with Melanie using the username NewStart23 to negotiate terms for Ethan's murder. The financial trail uncovered by investigators showed remarkable sophistication for someone with no prior criminal record. Melanie had converted $25,000 from her emergency savings account into Bitcoin through 5 different cryptocurrency exchanges, attempting to obscure the transaction path. The funds were then routed through a series of wallet addresses before reaching the final destination, specified by Ghost. During their dark web communications, Melanie provided detailed information about Ethan's daily routines, including his regular visits to a local coffee shop every morning between 7:15 and 7:45 a.m., his gym schedule, and his weekly therapy appointments.
Oh no, that's wild.
She also supplied photographs and specific details about his newly leased apartment, demonstrating a level of surveillance that suggested premeditation.
Yeah.
The tragic culmination of these events occurred on April 19, 2023, when David Foster, a 32-year-old financial analyst, was fatally shot while leaving the same coffee shop that Ethan frequented. Foster, who shared a similar build, height, and hair color with Brooks, became the unintended victim of the hired assassin.
Oh my God. This nigga... Hey, this man is a genius. So, he was like, nah, something's wrong. He was just something like me. Yeah, that was an attempt on my life. Yep. Time to put a plan in place. Now I'm wondering, why did she do it? Because now Ethan's clear. Your logicking. I'm confused as to why your wife said, yeah, I'm going to get him out of here. The money? You got money. What you want, more money? You about to get with a lawyer. How much money do you need? What sense does this make? This is just greed. Let's go, Ethan.
Security camera footage showed the shooter approaching on foot and firing 3 shots at close range before fleeing in a gray sedan. Local law enforcement, already monitoring Ethan due to the ongoing fraud investigation, quickly connected the shooting to the dark web contract. FBI cyber analysts who had been tracking the Ghost account as part of a larger investigation into dark web assassination markets identified the shooter as Marcus Thompson, a former military contractor with a history of mercenary work. Thompson was arrested on April 21st during an attempted border crossing into Canada. During interrogation, he quickly realized the extent of evidence against him and agreed to cooperate with authorities in exchange for considerations in sentencing. His testimony provided crucial details about the murder-for-hire scheme, including archived messages and cryptocurrency transaction records that directly linked back to Melanie.
Damn.
The investigation revealed that Thompson, operating as Ghost, had conducted minimal verification of his target, relying primarily on the physical description and location information provided by Melanie. This fatal error led to Foster's death, elevating the case to first-degree murder. Foster left behind a pregnant wife and a 2-year-old daughter, adding to the tragedy of the misidentification. In a sealed testimony, Thompson provided investigators with complete records of his communications with Melanie, including voice messages sent through encrypted channels that matched her voice pattern. He also detailed the planning process, describing how Melanie had insisted on making the hit look like a random robbery gone wrong. The evidence recovered from Thompson's devices included screenshots of all conversations, Bitcoin wallet addresses, and a detailed dossier on Ethan Brooks that Melanie had compiled and shared. This documentation proved instrumental in establishing the premeditated nature of the crime and Melanie's direct involvement in planning the murder. FBI forensic accountants traced the full path of the Bitcoin payments, linking the initial cash withdrawals from Melanie's account through various cryptocurrency exchanges to Thompson's wallet. Despite her attempts at concealment, the financial trail provided unambiguous evidence of her role as the orchestrator of the murder plot. On September 15, 2023, after a highly publicized trial lasting 3 weeks, Melanie Brooks was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and money laundering. The judge, noting the premeditated nature of her crimes and the death of an innocent bystander, imposed the maximum sentence allowed under the plea agreement. The apparent resolution of the case, however, would be violently disrupted just 8 days later. On September 23, 2023, at approximately 10:30 p.m., Ethan Brooks's body was discovered in his apartment by the building's maintenance.
Damn. No, not Ethan. That's crazy. You survive an attempt, make a crazy play, and this is... That's horrible, bro. Let's go.
Supervisor, responding to reports of water leaking into the unit below. The crime scene revealed signs of a calculated execution. Brooks had been shot twice in the chest at close range while sitting at his desk. Investigators found a 3-page handwritten letter from Robert Cain placed prominently on Brooks's desk. The contents of the letter, later analyzed by FBI behavioral specialists, revealed a disturbing psychological profile. Cain detailed a 15-year obsession with Melanie that began when she was a law student attending a seminar he taught in 2008.
Oh, he's weird.
The letter described how he had manipulated circumstances to become the Brooks' family lawyer, deliberately cultivating a friendship with Ethan to stay close to Melanie.
Oh, he's a creep.
Forensic analysis of the crime scene yielded minimal physical evidence,
I was right.
suggesting a methodically planned operation. The murder weapon, determined to be a .22 caliber pistol with a suppressor, was never recovered. Security cameras in the building had been disabled approximately 30 minutes before the estimated time of death, indicating the perpetrator's familiarity with the building's security systems. The investigation revealed that Cain had begun preparing for his escape months earlier. He had systematically liquidated his assets and transferred funds through a complex network of offshore accounts. Immigration records showed that Cain had left the United States on September 24, 2023, using a fraudulent passport under the name Michael Crawford.
Wow.
Airport security footage from Dubai International Airport captured him arriving, but his trail went cold shortly afterward. A search of Cain's abandoned law office revealed a hidden room containing extensive surveillance materials focused on both Melanie and Ethan Brooks dating back to 2008. Investigators discovered thousands of photographs, detailed journals documenting daily activities, and elaborate plans that demonstrated the depth of his obsession. The materials included architectural drawings of Ethan's apartment building and notes about his daily routines. The most disturbing discovery was a series of journal entries that outlined Cain's long-term strategy. He had apparently planned to eliminate Ethan from the beginning, seeing him as an obstacle to his relationship with Melanie. The failed insurance fraud scheme and Melanie's subsequent arrest had merely accelerated his timeline. International law enforcement agencies launched a worldwide manhunt for Cain, circulating his photo through Interpol and monitoring financial transactions linked to his known aliases.
Did they get him?
Despite these efforts, he successfully evaded capture. Intelligence reports suggested possible sightings in various non-extradition countries, but none were confirmed. The investigation into Ethan Brooks's murder remains open. The FBI maintains an active file, classifying it as a suspected professional hit, possibly orchestrated by Cain. The precision of the execution and the elaborate escape plan suggest that Cain may have employed professional assistance, though this theory remains unproven. Melanie Brooks, interviewed in prison about Cain's letter, expressed shock at the revelation of his long-term obsession. Prison psychiatrists noted that this information triggered a severe psychological crisis, leading to her placement under suicide watch. Her attorneys filed appeals citing this new information, but all were rejected due to the unrelated nature of Cain's actions to her own crime.
Okay. Great video, by the way. Let me make sure I get the name correct. Great video by Hank Criminal. I don't know why I went down the watermark up there. My stupid ass. I'm blown away by this. Like, bro, Ethan. The plan, while I was critical of it initially, as the story unfolded, I started to think, nah, you're a genius. And I see what being a genius got you. I think you should have went the traditional route. Not to judge you for, rest in peace, brother. Like, I know you tried to do what you thought was best, but if you would have just went the traditional route, got the proof, got a divorce, moved far away from these people, it probably would have been a better chance of you living than you getting her put in prison, because her getting convicted made Robert go crazy, because he's like, I can't get the girl that I've been obsessing over for 15 years. Now, Robert is now in the Hall of Fame of weirdos with the name Robert, along with Mr. Kelly. Because there's no way you obsessed over her for that long, said, oh, she's married. Yeah, let me stalk them. Or her husband, because I gotta get him out of here. Like, sir, I'm not even gonna say why. I know you're insane. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Share your thoughts on the video, because this one's crazy. In the comment section below. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe, y'all. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel.
I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, ain't to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See, this can't turn me into a monster. Hey, I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling accomplished. See, this can't turn me into a monster. I'm a cowboy, can't stop. Hey, all that pain got me feeling jaded. Many with your rope in the making. Still plugged into the mix, but lagging out before the update. Drop back in, different time, same location.